Imagine this. You're geared up, heart pounding, waiting for the green light. You've just been told you're going into harm's way, into armed combat. Enduring hours, days of your mind running through every worst-case scenario. Then the fighting starts. Chaos, adrenaline, survival mode. Most people think the actual combat is the nightmare. But according to 470 combat veterans we polled, that's not entirely the case. Sometimes the waiting, the anticipation, is the real agony soldiers endure. Hey everyone, long time no see. Nick from B&B War Stories here, soon to be rebranding to Zero Line Dispatch. Now you guys know I've been collecting raw frontline stories for years, and so last week I ran a poll, and the results were rather surprising. The question, is the anticipation of combat often worse than the fight itself? Almost 500 veterans responded in the poll, and over 70% voted from the B&B community said that the waiting will break you more. And they didn't just vote. Some submitted stories explaining why. Today, we're diving into those accounts, the psychology behind it, and what it really means for those who've been there. It's hard to explain, but you keep thinking through all the different possible scenarios right up until you get into that armor or disembark. After that, you just do what you've trained for and try not to die. It's just the expecting of the worst. You see all the videos online of what can happen, and you just assume you'll be on the next Russian FPV Telegram page getting schwacked by one. You remember the times in previous missions when things went wrong and expect things to go wrong again. It's very hard not to worry or be anxious before a mission or even during the infill. Once you're on the ground, though, you just kind of hit a flow state and react to events around you, and the training takes over. I'd say the anticipation is much more unnerving. In the mountains of Afghanistan, we used to see Taliban on the mountainsides and their flashlights at night. That's how we always knew we were going to be attacked. It was suspenseful. But the firefights themselves are chaotic in their own way. Once you understand the situation and calm down, firefights typically aren't that scary. When we didn't see those flashlights bobbing around on the trails, that's when we knew some serious shit was going down. That's the part that's truly terrifying. I can't sleep before a mission. I worry myself to death. I worry about being maimed or burning. I lay awake for hours. On position, I'm fine. I sleep like a dead person. Before the battle, my mind imagines all sorts of bad things that may happen. Will I be dead in 24 hours? What else could I worry about? In the battle, I don't have time to worry. You act or you die. The anticipation of not knowing was far worse than the feeling of combat itself. Watching women and children run for their compounds or to hide as we would show up. Everything would turn silent, like you were walking into an area of ancient ruins. No sounds, a slight breeze, a call of prayer off in the distance. You didn't know when or where or how much is coming, only that it was. The group of men you had conversed with and had chai with the day before were now finding a spot to put their PKM or RPG. For such a calm moment, everything inside of you was anything but. Once the rounds start flying, it was a slight sigh of relief. Finally, we have started. It's a weird, calming feeling. The exponential levels of anxiety can come back down and let adrenaline take its place. When we were told from radio intercepts that the enemy's first assault group was moving through the forest towards us, the greatest tension came during the waiting. Once we spotted them and let them get closer and initiated contact first, everything happened mechanically, smoothly, and automatically. Our main advantage was that the Russians didn't know our exact position. only the general direction. Everyone knew their role in this short but intense fight. Although the Russians immediately took losses, 4 KIA in the first 10 seconds of the battle, and the remaining 3 survivors tried to fall back, we just glanced at each other from our firing positions and, with hand signals, decided to pursue and finish them all if we could. What gave us the resolve was seeing that the Russians were firing chaotically and in long bursts and throwing grenades, which isn't the smartest idea in a forest. We understood that they had no idea exactly where we were. Their group's vanguard had been wiped out instantly, and they only knew we were very close, but not precisely where. But we couldn't figure out exactly where they were. Moving as quietly and carefully as possible, yet quickly and decisively, we closed the distance. We located them by sound, and realized that among the survivors there were 2 heavily wounded. One had been shot by another Russian, and the second had been hit by one of us in the stomach and the legs. The scariest part was standing up to full height to get a clear view of their position. Because without cover, you instantly become an easy target. But in these moments, you see everything. It only lasted a few seconds, yet my heart was pounding as if I'd just sprinted 100 meters in full kit with a heavy backpack at maximum speed. A few quick movements, and we were already standing upright. We spotted the Russians about 20 meters away, under thick bushes. They saw us too, but we were already opening fire while they were only just starting to raise their rifles. After that, it was over. The devil isn't as scary as he's painted. War isn't non-stop explosions and heroics. It's also months of crushing boredom, violently interrupted by moments of pure, soul-shaking terror. But here's what hits different. It's not always the fighting itself that breaks soldiers the hardest. It can be the waiting, too. You're sitting there for days, sometimes weeks, with nothing but your own thoughts. And those thoughts, they're brutal. You're replaying every possible way that you could be killed or maimed. You're mentally rehearsing your own death, over and over. Some guys quietly make peace with it. They start preparing themselves to die. Can you imagine that? Day after day, night after night, that slow, grinding, mental torture. And for the ones who make it home, that weight doesn't just disappear. Now look, this video is not about downplaying real combat. Getting shot at, bombs dropping around you, the sheer chaos and noise, that's its own unique nightmare. Nobody's debating that. But a few weeks ago, a follower asked me a question that stuck with me, and I put it out to the community, especially to combat veterans. And the response was overwhelming. The gut-wrenching anxiety before contact, that heavy, foreboding sense that you're just waiting to die. A lot of them said that the anticipation was actually worse on the mind than the fear they felt once bullets started flying. This isn't an official scientific study or an official poll. It's just raw observations from an amateur war observer and roughly 470 combat veterans who've been there. But the consensus was pretty clear. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what are my thoughts on this? I've done several trips to Ukraine over the last few years, and while my experiences really do pale in comparison to those who spend day after day, month after month, and now year after year at the zero line, I'm not immune to the effects of fear at the front line. Right now, we are as far forward in this part of the front line as we can go. There's pretty much nothing between us and the Russians, other than these trench walls and a river. Now, my take on this is one more of an observer. And so a few memories come to mind. In May of 2025, I was embedded with an FPV strike team from the 25th Airborne Brigade in the besieged city of Pokrovsk. Now, when I was told I was going to go into Pokrovsk to film the strike team there, I got like this sinking feeling in my stomach. While I was still motivated to go out, and film the soldiers and really have a small taste of what they were enduring at the front line, I was just racked with fear and anxiety. And I'm sure that's true for many seasoned veterans of this war specifically. They get the pre-mission anxiety, the pre-mission jitters. For me, I remember I couldn't sleep the entire night before. I was staying at a safe house with some soldiers there who had just rotated off of the line, and they were telling me stories about what Pokrovsk was like and the drone density and the artillery, the glide bomb density. They were just describing it to be awful, which it was. It ended up being awful. All these things just kept running through my mind, right? So like all day long I'm looking at combat footage of people in Ukraine from the Russians or the Ukrainians, and it's all drones. And so every little bit of me was just worried about the FPV threat. I couldn't drink. I had a hard time being present, if that makes sense. So like people would be talking to me, they'd make a joke, and I would half comprehend what they were saying, like haha, like that's a funny joke, man. Everything was very half-hearted from my part before going in. And that's been the same with all of my trips to the front line. Like the night prior, I can't sleep. I can't eat, I can't drink. It's rough. And then I noticed on the way out of Pokrovsk that time that my stay there, while it was scary, terrifying, the height of human experience and emotion that you can feel, the anxiety and the foreboding of doom while I was there was not as bad as before. Even then, we had close calls. We had drones fly right by our building. On exfil, our vehicle was chased by a drone. The guys in the back had to shoot at it. And we were lucky enough that we were just faster on this open stretch of road. But yeah, I tend to agree from my limited experience that the anxiety and the anxiety of the anticipation is worse for me specifically. Like I've never done a trench raid. I simply don't have the sack to do what those guys do. I've never been on an assault, anything like that. So that's just my 2 cents from my perspective. I tend to agree with them. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed I have been MIA for a long time. Truth be told, it was really hard to stay motivated to do this. I am a full-time registered behavior technician, so I work with little kids on the autism spectrum, basically, is what I do. So that's my 9 to 5 per se. I come home, I do some interviews, and then just trying to add recording a video and editing on top of that, it just sounds awful. It's not fun. I did have some help video editing last year, a little bit the year before that. That help is no longer available to me. And so I want to do this, guys. I enjoy going out to the front line, and enjoy is a horrible word for that. I am passionate about going to the front line and enduring tiny little bits of what these soldiers do, so it helps me tell their stories to you guys a little bit better. And so I'm kind of taking a leap here to try to do this full time. So if you guys could please contribute in any way, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, anything like that, I would be so grateful for. And if you guys are willing and able, a little help in the Patreon as well, feel free to subscribe there. It's like, I don't know, like $5 a month, something like that. It's cheaper than the price of coffee now in the United States, which is ridiculous. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, at some point, I'm going to try to figure out something that the people helping me do this full time will be compensated and rewarded with. What that is, I'm not sure, whether it's merch, whether it's like a private Discord chat. I don't know. So let me know what you guys would like, because I'm just trying to figure it out. As always, thank you guys for watching. A big, huge thank you to the soldiers who participated in this poll. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm editing this all by myself. If it's awful, things need to be changed, please let me know in the comments. I don't get butthurt. I've got thick skin. And as always, guys, every soldier has a story, and every story deserves to be told. Thanks for watching.